While we honor those no longer with us, we hold on to hope for those still fighting. Across Texas, substance use continues to take lives, leaving many struggling to find a way out. But amidst this crisis, there's a place that provides a way through, where healing begins and where education meets recovery.
Archway is a recovery high school in Houston that provides hope to families and to young people. It can provide a refuge from the turmoil and hurt and the chaos that is sometimes a part of a young person's journey as they navigate mental health and substance use.
Starting off with Andy, the things that we saw beforehand, well, and there was a long road before that. We had been through 3 inpatient programs already, so we knew there was an issue.
What we were doing was just not enough support for him. He wasn't thriving in the online school. He was doing more isolating and not having the full life that we wanted for him.
We saw lots of joyful highs that usually we weren't a part of. It would have to do with a new group of friends or some social thing that she was going to do. And then we saw depression and isolation and anger in a way that we had never seen before. She had some friends over at our house, and one of them called out for me and said that they weren't sure that my daughter was breathing. And they had already called 911, and before I even was upstairs, there were, paramedics and police officers in my house. They were able to revive her, and she spent, the night at Texas Children's.
I just went into a depression. That's what really started my journey. When I had just taken a bunch of pills and I was on the floor ODing, and my mom found me, and she was really upset, and she didn't know what to do anymore, and I didn't know what to do. I needed help. This could be it. It was real scary for me.
I definitely started getting a lot more depressed. I didn't feel like I had people in my life or that connection to people around me like I felt other people had. And there was that feeling of disconnection. Something was missing. I was relapsing around sober people, so I felt really shameful. It really didn't feel good. I didn't really think there was a lifestyle for me that wasn't involving substances or the lifestyle that comes with using.
One of the interesting growth moments to me is when a student comes in and has put up that front, whatever that front might be, because they're in a new place. And then as those walls start to come down, to really see their personality come out. It's an interesting milestone when they start being comfortable enough to be themselves.
I was amazed when we first toured Archway, just the environment and the relationship and the conversations that the teachers were having with the children. It wasn't your typical conversations that a teacher would have. They were debating and having conversations about the learning topic versus teacher taking notes on a chalkboard or the kids writing notes in class.
One of the biggest changes that we saw with our son was accountability. And the fact that you had a staff that was holding students accountable, and what that led to is the students holding each other accountable. And really just the simple fact that our son became very comfortable going to staff when he had issues.
Working with the support staff at Archway gave our son the tools that he needed to put himself back on the right path.
Hope showed up first for me about a year into Archway, and I just had a tight feeling that these people care about me and that change is real, because I saw other people changing too. I wanted to be like them. I wanted to be okay with myself and just have a positive outlook on life. So that's what brought me to that. It was just immediate change, and I had all the people around me to show love and support, and that they cared for me. And so that's what really boosted me in change. And I felt like I had no one to go to, but when I came to Archway and started talking about it and sharing how I felt, it really changed everything for me.
There's so much sacrifice that these families make for their kids to come here, and we want to make sure that that's not done in vain.
The energy and the basic personality that allows you to navigate a world in addiction, they're wonderful traits. A lot of them are wonderful traits, and if we can just turn those into positive, it makes for an astonishing human being.
I think the kids, when they come here, are not expecting to be challenged.
Yeah.
I think there's maybe just a stereotype about recovery schools generally that, oh, it's easy, it's just about being sober, just skate through sort of thing, and that's not what we're about.
What the students feel at their old school is disrespected in a lot of ways. Disrespected with their behavior, nobody's looking into really the root of their behavior, but more in the classroom from the teacher point of view, they're disrespected academically. All of our students come into the classroom with that mentality that there's going to be another teacher's going to disrespect me, another teacher's not going to think I can learn, another teacher's going to give me easy assignments where I can just coast by. And then when they find that's not true, they light up. And it doesn't happen overnight, but you can see that change.
Archway really encouraged our son to want to learn again. And that was very exciting because he was always someone who was good in school and learning, loved having those conversations. And Archway gave him that back again, and I'm so grateful for that.
In a traditional school, there's music programs or sports or there's other programs like that. And I was worried he wasn't going to have that traditional high school experience. But that traditional high school experience came at a cost of drugs and all the other things and the anxiety that he had and lack of support. So Archway is not conventional in that matter, but the tools that he came out with were so much more valuable than being a better baseball player.
I have a high standard for what teaching means, and my experience with the teachers at Archway is unparalleled. I have never encountered educators before who not only know the curriculum so well, but are able to communicate it to students who are facing not just substance use issues, but learning challenges, a diverse array of mental health problems, and who may have not had a great history of academics themselves before that. The teachers here are here because they're the best, which is not what you can say of every school.
Meeting teachers that actually wanted you to do the work was weird, that wouldn't just let me sleep in class or you get strikes and marks. They actually really wanted you to do good, and I'd never met that before or been faced with that.
Prior to Archway, school was just somewhere I had to be. I didn't know my teachers. I was getting in trouble. There's so many students, no one knows you, and they have trouble enforcing rules.
What families and students find pretty quickly here at Archway is that our teachers are dynamic, brilliant, engaging, passionate, and they are here for a reason.
One of the reasons I was called to be a high school teacher, and it's not so much about teaching your subject, it's more about teaching young people to be successful in the world more generally. Although I love English and I'm passionate about my subject, I really would like kids to learn other habits of discipline and hard work and structure and things like that that will translate outside of the scope of academia.
So I'd say the biggest change that we've seen since enrolling in Archway and even graduating, it's like we've got our son back. We've got somebody who willfully helps out around the house, who is engaging with the family, who's just a joy to be with. I'd say the biggest thing that Archway, the teachers, the recovery staff, the other students, the biggest thing they did for his future is they allowed him to actually think about his future.
I think I would have told my younger parent self that you as a mom know when something's not right and run, don't walk to get help for your kid. And now that I know about it, I would have told her recovery works and go seek it out.
I think it was most important on working on myself because I couldn't do academics without working on myself. I would be so depressed I wouldn't want to go to school. But as soon as I started working on myself and trying to be better and doing the work, I was able to perform better academically.
It took me a little bit to realize this is what I wanted and this is what I needed. My relationship with my family is really good now. It took a while. When I first got into recovery, it wasn't all better. There were still fights and issues, and my parents, they didn't trust me. I didn't earn their trust yet. Now I'm an adult. They trust me. The consequences are laid out. I needed to be around therapists and recovery and accountability that much when I first got sober.
We know that when you combine boundaries and kindness and open-mindedness and support and validation, when you can do all those things in a school setting where typically all that stuff's out the window, the students will respond well.